I'm Brett Kenwell, U.S. Investment Analyst with eToro, and I'm joined by Bob McCooey, Vice Chairman and Head of International Listings at Nasdaq. Thanks for being with us, Bob.
Great to be with you, Brett.
To start things off, maybe you could tell us about the origin of Nasdaq and how you got started as a listing company.
So Nasdaq was founded in 1971, and what's interesting those 54 years ago was that every exchange on the planet was a physical exchange. People came to one location to actually do trading, and Nasdaq decided they were going to kind of democratize that process and use what had become, more ubiquitous and continues to be more ubiquitous, which is technology. And so we actually began as a quotation system. Nasdaq, the AQ, is automated quotations at the end of Nasdaq. For all of you who are watching and want to understand what Nasdaq actually stands for, today it's the name of our company, but back then it was the National Association of Security Dealers Automated Quotations. And then we became a listing venue. Later in that first year, we listed Intel and then Comcast, two still of our Nasdaq 100 companies, and we've been off to the races ever since.
Nice. So Intel sort of kicked things off, and now Nasdaq's home to many of the world's leading technology companies. How has that shaped Nasdaq's identity, and how should investors think about the type of companies that typically list with Nasdaq?
Well, people shouldn't think of Nasdaq as just technology companies. We do have the world's greatest technology companies. We do have the dubbed Magnificent Seven, all technology companies listed with us. But when people say, oh, so Nasdaq is just technology, I say, oh yes, just like Starbucks and JetBlue and Marriott and virtually all of the biotech sector globally listed on Nasdaq. Actually, our largest sector is healthcare on Nasdaq, and that's by number of companies. Obviously, by market cap, we are technology weighted. But I think all those companies really share a similar DNA. It's the DNA that we at Nasdaq share, but it's the shared DNA of all of our companies. And so, technology was, in its evolution in those earliest days, 50 years ago, plus with Intel and Apple 45 years ago, and Google, and the companies just continue to want to be part of the Nasdaq family as we are, literally sharing that same DNA and growing our companies in a very innovative way.
As an electronic exchange, how does Nasdaq ensure liquidity, efficiency, and fairness in trading?
So first of all, we need to have robust trading systems. So our trading systems, which recently traded over 1 billion messages delivered in the trading day on Liberation Day in early April, but we can actually transmit 1 million messages per second through our trading systems. As I was just describing, when people used to come to exchange floors and trade, there are no exchange floors anymore. Trading happens in data centers. And so all of the companies, eToro included, are connected to the data center. And all of the trading happens in those boxes in the data center where all the orders are able to aggregate. One of the really important things for investors is data. So getting the data, getting the information that they need to make their most educated decisions for their own portfolios. And so we here at Nasdaq are very focused not only on certainty, on making sure we have redundancy, transparency, but also giving our clients being the end user, as well as firms like eToro, to be able to give you the data to be able to help your clients to make the best possible decisions each and every day with each of their investments on a Nasdaq listed company.
When volatility increases, it impacts investors' emotions and their decision making. How does volatility impact an exchange like Nasdaq?
Well, we need to have robust trading systems and have the redundancy and capacity for trading. And so usually when volatility comes down, and people often talk about volatility to the downside more than to the upside, Brett, we need to make sure that we have enough capacity for all of those trades to go through, all of the information, all of the messages. And as I referenced, those 1 billion messages that we're able to process, you need a lot of computing power to do that. So Nasdaq always has to have, multiple times the amount of any spike that we've had in the market. I also say for investors, try not to let your emotions be the guide. Take a deep breath, markets do get volatile at different points in time. Use the data and insights that firms like eToro give you, powered by Nasdaq, to be able to make the best quality decisions for your portfolio, and don't make those knee-jerk reactions even when the markets do get a little funky.
How has the evolution of retail investors impacted the equity market in general, but also the Nasdaq?
I guess, Brett, during the COVID, 3 or 4 years, we really talked about the rise of retail, and people were at home, they were in their routines, but maybe they gathered a couple extra hours per day, and part of that was the success of the markets. We also went through, in 2021, the largest number of IPOs ever in the US capital markets, with 1,100 IPOs, and that garnered a lot of interest by retail investors. And so we at Nasdaq have been focused on making sure that we can provide the data, the insights to clients to make the best possible decisions in their portfolios. And that has driven more and more trading, and allowed for firms like eToro to continue to grow their business, because so many of the clients, so many of the retail investors are so interested in the markets. And success breeds success, and liquidity breeds more liquidity, and interest in the market breeds more and more of those retail investors wanting to be part of the market, especially with such amazing companies. You have such stories of the companies that I think touch our lives from the moment that you wake up in the morning and you put on your Apple Watch and you get into your Tesla car, and you're watching your DirecTV at home, and all the different products. You're wearing Lululemon. Nasdaq has the category defining companies in each category: consumer, obviously in healthcare, in EV technology, in the products and services that really touch our lives each and every day. And so I think the retail investor likes to invest in things that they know. I mean, this goes back to Peter Lynch 30, 40 years ago, where he said to invest in what you understand, invest in the products that you actually buy and use, and those are some of the products that will be most successful in your portfolio. And I think that continues to be the case today.
A great lesson. What key trends are shaping equity markets today, and how do macroeconomic factors such as interest rates impact Nasdaq-listed companies?
Well, we have companies of all shapes and sizes, and certainly the focus so far this year has been on things like higher interest rates, tariffs, taxes, and so our companies are differently impacted. Those that have supply chains moving products into the US would be impacted by tariffs. Those that are global multinational companies who have very, very strong balance sheets will continue to do very, very well. And I think we've seen that in the performance of the Nasdaq 100. Those companies are very strong companies and have continued to be able to deliver results quarter after quarter, even in the face of higher interest rates that would affect a smaller company where the cost of borrowing would be much more of an impact upon their balance sheet than larger companies. And so we're always looking at all those data points, and it's certainly going to be something that will affect all of our companies differently. But we're also the platform that allows for the aggregation of the most liquidity globally in any market. And so we're so happy that when investors want to get in or out of any of the stocks that are listed on Nasdaq, that we have that liquidity to provide them the opportunity to do that seamlessly at a very, very low cost.
Bob, what's next for Nasdaq? Do you see a role in emerging areas like digital assets, tokenized securities, even Nasdaq listing cryptocurrencies in the future?
So one of the things that's happened at Nasdaq during the 19 years that I've been here is that we've continued to evolve as an organization. Brett, just to give you a perspective, last year we did $5 billion in revenue, almost $5 billion in revenue as Nasdaq, as a publicly traded company. When I joined, our market cap was $5 billion. So it's been a constant evolution, and we've really focused on being the trusted fabric of the global financial system. And so we've moved into a lot of different products, services, opportunities to support corporates, to support investors, to support trading firms like eToro, and making sure that we're able to do a lot of different things across that financial system. We think the next things will continue to be an evolution of that. We'll continue to be evolved and watching the products that will come to market, and making sure that Nasdaq is always at the forefront of providing eToro's clients with opportunities to trade the most exciting products on our platform each and every day.
Bob, thanks so much.
Nice to be with you.
Yeah.